What is up, responsible day traders? Today is Sunday, May 22nd, 2022. I am Lindsay Duff, and this is Responsible Day Trading. So as you can see, I got a little bit of a new camera, which means I'm gonna have to be a little cleaner in the background because I see you can see a lot more of my desk than you could before. So, we'll just roll with it. We'll see how it goes. I feel like it's very echoey in here today, but we'll figure that out. So I've already taken a little bit of look at the market, and we've seen some really interesting things happen. We did make some new lows from last week, kind of anticipated that. It's starting to slow down, so we may see this make a push back to the upside, but is it going to be short-lived? It might be. So let's go ahead and first take a look at the news, and then we'll take a look at the market. All right, so first we're going to head over here to responsibledaytrading.com, and then we're going to just do this drop down here and go to market news. So we can see this week we got a little bit of news coming up. We have nothing on Monday. Tuesday, new home sales at 9, and then we've got Powell speaking at 11:20. Wednesday, we've got some pre-market. We've got 9:30 crude oils, and then we've got FOMC at 1. We always know FOMC can make things just a little bit exciting. So it may slow down a little bit then, right before it tends to be doing that a little bit lately, slowing down and then boom, popping off. So just paying attention to that 1 o'clock Central Time hour on Wednesday. So you might want to just sit back for a little bit during that. Thursday, we've got some pre-market and then news at 9. No news on Friday. And it may be a light Friday because we do have a holiday on Monday. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in to this market. Let me go ahead and bring up the daily chart first. So there are some interesting things happening here. I want to go ahead and just mark this, and we'll talk about it in just a moment, and we'll come back to it. Now, we talked about this reversal bar happening right here, and it did exactly what we expected it to do. It came down, made a new high as these EMAs are really making the attempt to open up to the downside. So there's a little bit of a mixed bag, which we see a lot of times because we also now have that new reversal bar. Look at this bar with the long tail and the close up towards the top. Something that's happening here too is the MACDs made a very weak push to the downside during this big push down. They're actually leading just a little bit higher, and we see the BB rolling back in. Now, this does not necessarily mean that it's going to shift the market. We'd really like to see this BB pop up really hard and push up through this top Bollinger Band in order to really start anticipating more up. We can see previously when it pushed up right here, it just was enough to get inside and then pulled right back down to that bottom Bollinger Band. So, we are still at these really extreme areas in the MACDs. And what I mean by that is we don't really make it this far down that often. These are new lines that I've drawn in here because we don't usually make it past this area. We did in that big dip back in 2020, 2021, right at the beginning there, but it's been a while. So to see it down this low is really rare. But let's talk about something here. We do like to see these white BBs happening as that extra oomph, and it's going to push back up. So really my anticipations are maybe to reach back up towards this area at the highest, back up into here, and then another push back to the downside. Now, if it does happen to break above this Bollinger Band, we're going to start expecting it to push harder. Maybe we'll see it get back above these EMAs. Getting back above these EMAs would be a real clear sign that we're going to start pushing back towards the upside and maybe making new highs. We have a potential W pivot happening here with these MACDs leading higher, but we're going to have to see some real convincing that is going to push the market to the upside. We may see something more along the lines of this, just a nice big strong run and back down. So let's get a little bit more into the immediate and look at the 28,657. Now, if we're looking at the 28,657 right now, we have started off strong to the upside today. We actually have a little bit of a gap here, not a big enough one for, I think, anybody to feel very important about closing. So that's not something that I'm too concerned with. Now, these BBs are very, very white as we're reaching up higher and higher here, but man, they are trying to show a lot of strength on the 28,657. With all this strength, we've just created a huge space, about 40 points, where we can pull back into this area, kind of nuzzle back in there if we're going to go back to the upside. So, while it's got this immediate, especially on the 28,657, we've actually moved the direction back to the upside right now because we're pulling away from these EMAs and closing above them. We get another close above here and back above this area. That's going to be some pretty good feels to get back to the upside. Now, it's going to be this real area here that we're going to want to exceed. And we've got quite a ways to go to get there in order to really feel comfortable thinking that this market is going to continue to the upside. So let's go ahead and check out the immediate market. The immediate market is telling us more up. We're back above the EMAs and the zero line on all three charts right now, which is a really good sign for more up. We still have strength up in the 10,946 MACDs. There's no divergence here. We have a little bit of divergence here and the possibility for a pullback, but we've got strength picking up in the EMAs to the upside, and we've got a lot of distance to run back to the zero line. So this may give us, when I initially looked at this, and what I wrote about for today is that it's going to be really, really hard for this market to get back above all these areas and really give us some strong confirmation that we've got a bull market pushing this back to the upside, because we have been in such a bear market pushing this down. We see a lot of attempts for this push back up, but it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of strength and momentum to get it back above here, and then eventually get back above this area, and in the long run get back above that 48,800 where we had a nice big run to the upside. So, as I've said before, we really are working just to stay in the moment, be in the now, because being in the now is what helps us catch those couple of points here and there, maybe 2-3 points, or maybe 10 or 15 points. But in order to do that, we really need to be paying attention to what's the market telling me right here, right now. I want to listen to what it's saying. If I had a much bigger account and I was looking to use much bigger risk, I'd be using those bigger charts to take those bigger moves, but I don't need that much. I like having that little bit of risk on there so that I don't have to really think about and worry where it needs to go. And maybe next week we'll talk about thinking about where the risk should go in order to make sure that you're not in a place that you're going to get hit very easily when you take these trades. So, all right, guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up. I hope that everybody has a wonderful week. Guys, if you have questions, please reach out to us. We're happy to talk with you, work with you through it. And so just reach out. We're happy to work with you. So let's go ahead and call it a day. I hope that everybody has a wonderful week. And as always, you know that I look forward to catching you on the profitable side.